welcome to episode 5, oh my goodness, 5 of the Paws for Stitches podcast. My name is Candy, and you can find me on both Ravelry and Instagram as Paws, P-A-W-S, number 4, Stitches. Welcome to anybody who is finding Paws for Stitches for the first time, and welcome back to any returning viewers. Definitely our Rav group numbers are growing, so we do actually have a fun group of people over on Ravelry in the Paws for Stitches podcast group. So please come on over and check that out. We've got some fun things going on there now, and I'm sure we'll be continuing to add lots of stuff as we move along. I also wanted to encourage you too that if you enjoy yourself spending some time with me, go ahead and I obviously upload my episodes to YouTube, so feel free to go ahead and click that good old red subscribe button, so that way you'll get notifications anytime that I post a new episode. So anyway, welcome. This is going to be kind of a fun episode for me, at least, because I'm actually, I believe, going to be filming from 2 different states in the same episode. Currently, right now, I am on a little bit of a long weekend trip. I am down visiting my mom and dad, who hopefully you'll get to meet. I know you'll get to meet my mom later. I'm not so sure I'll be able to convince my dad to pop into the podcast at any given moment, but you never know. But my parents live down in Myrtle's Inlet, which is in South Carolina, right outside of Myrtle Beach. So I usually twice a year, usually once toward the beginning of June and once toward the beginning of September, get the chance to fly down and spend some time with them for a long weekend. So, so far, yesterday was great. The weather was beautiful. We went to the beach. That's pretty much all I like to do when we come down here, because I don't get to do a lot of that up home. And that's it. But today is kind of a unique and special opportunity for me because I'm not in South Carolina. Totally lied to you. I told you I was in South Carolina, but I am actually right now, as I'm talking to you, in North Carolina. We are actually visiting with old family friends. Well, they're not old. We've known them for a very long time. Family friends of ours that I knew through church growing up. I was always very close with their son Mark. We went through a youth group together at church and whatnot. So we actually took a drive, about a 45-minute drive out here to beautiful Sunset Beach, which is actually in North Carolina. So we're actually going to be spending the day here. My dad is out golfing with the McCullochs right now, and my mom and I actually are enjoying their lovely beach home. And you can kind of see the beach behind me. I'm not going to be talking to you for very long right now because I have to take a walk across those dunes and get back to my beach chair. So, but I told my mom, I said, you know what, I'm going to take a break for a few minutes. I'm going to go up and I'm going to sort of film just a few little pieces of this episode for you guys, because I thought it would be pretty fun to say that this episode was sort of 2 states in one podcast episode. So there you have it. Let me just make sure I have not forgotten anything, introductions and all that good stuff. Nope, I don't think so. So another thing that I thought that I would do, I'm going to do things out of order a little bit differently. I do have a sheepie to award this episode, but I'm going to hold off on announcing that sheepie to a little bit later on. As you can see, by the way, I apologize for my appearance. I normally, when I beach it, the hair does not get washed, obviously. I'm wearing one of my favorite baseball caps, my Harvard hockey hat. Haven't talked to you guys much about what a huge hockey fan I am yet, but I'm sure it will come all in good time. And I also am wearing my favorite Knitting is Sexy t-shirt, because what else would you wear when you're going to go to the beach and sit there and probably knit on a sock for a good couple hours? So anyway, the sheepie is coming. Stay tuned for that. That'll be a little bit later on in the episode. But for now, I wanted to take the opportunity to just go over a couple other sort of announcements and fun things with you guys before I head down to meet up with my mom in a few minutes. First things first, I wanted to remind everybody that we have I have a knit along going on right now with my buddy Jen Sheelan of the Jen Sheelan podcast. For those of you who have not watched any of the previous episodes, the knit along is actually a little bit different. It's a jar along. So hold on one second. For those of you who have not seen Jen Sheelan's amazing jars, here they are. It's beautiful. This is my Fairies Firelight. Last time you saw it, it was, hold that thought. Aha, here we go. Last time you saw it, it was filled with tons of green straws. And I actually think it's so funny. Jen's husband, Frank, after I guess I announced what my prize package was going to be, Frank Sheelan suggested that perhaps I need to throw in some green straws with that prize pack. So you know what? That may have to happen, actually. Not that any of you really are going to be that excited about green straws, but if you've watched a previous episode, you know that I have 5,000 of them to get rid of. So why not give them to some of my fabulous viewers? So anyway, this is the Fairies Firelight jar covering pattern by Jen Sheelan. We are running we're running the knit along together rather, and it's actually going to be monthly between now and all the way through December, because both of us are in agreement that these just make for amazing gifts. So we already have a few very cool entries in both of our Ravelry threads. So I just wanted to, I'm probably going to insert some pictures when I get around to editing later, but I wanted to say thank you to Melanie, who is Knitting Mama 79. She actually put up some gorgeous pictures of, instead of the Fairies Firelight, she's actually knitting the Jen's, I think it's the Americana jar pattern, which is gorgeous. So I'll show you a couple of those. And also Ray C, who is Ray, she has also knitted up a Fairies Firelight jar as well. So we're starting to see some of these jars come up in the podcast thread, in our knit along thread. We do have a thread for finished objects. Do not do what I already did, which was to get so excited about people's jars that I started commenting in the finished objects thread. Foolish, silly me. Please go ahead and you'll notice that we also have chatter threads in both of our podcast groups for that kind of goodness. Because here are the rules. Obviously, you can post as many different jars, you can enter as many jars as you want for the month. We are going to be drawing for a prize at the end of each month, both myself and Jen Sheelan. But one of the things that we are asking you guys to do is not only post a picture of your finished jar, but also just type a little blurb about how you're planning on either using that jar or how you're planning on gifting it to somebody else. So far, we've seen ideas. Somebody's going to be giving one as a shower gift. That's fabulous, and obviously there's just the simple beauty of putting a tea light in this jar makes it actually spectacular. So go ahead if you're interested in that. Go ahead, and all of the rules are posted in both my Ravelry group and also Jen Sheelan's Ravelry group. Last episode I announced that for the month of June I was going to be giving out several things. As sort of a prize package. You would be getting a skein of veil yarn, which is in a beautiful sort of a tannish shade. I'm sorry, I actually have it downstairs in the car right now, so I can't show it to you. Maybe I'll pop that out later when we're filming later on. But you'll be getting that. You'll be getting a naked jar so that you will be able to make your own jar. You're on your own with your needles, but they're nothing, obviously you can get those pretty easily. You probably already have them for what you would need. And then also Jen Sheelan has been gracious enough to say that the winners for the month can choose a Jen Sheelan jar pattern of their choice. So, and don't forget, green straws. You also will have green straws coming along with my prize package, because you never know, maybe that's what you'll decide to do with your jar once you finish it, is to put it somewhere in a lovely spot in your kitchen and use it to hold some straws. So that's it for the jar along. Don't forget that runs, we'll be drawing for that at the end of June, and then we'll start, we'll kick off the month of July maybe with some new ideas and a new jar pattern to kind of highlight for you. One thing I wanted to make sure I said last time around, I mentioned some knit-alongs that you might be able to double dip with for the jar along. One of them was, there are two with Boston Jen of the Down Cellar Studio podcast. That still holds true. Check those out. Go ahead and check those out in her Ravelry group. It's the 12 Months to Christmas and the Splash Pad Party, which probably would work for these jar patterns. But I also mentioned the Sweet Leaps podcast, which is hosted by the lovely Vicky. She's doing a home comforts cowl, which is great. The only thing I neglected to mention last time, I put it in my show notes because I didn't realize it till after I had filmed. But because some people in that knit along are knitting things as big as giant blankets and whatnot, one of the things that Vicky would ask is that if you are going to submit a jar, that you definitely make at least 2 to 3 of them, just so we kind of make it fair in terms of the amount of knitting time that people are putting into making these beautiful items for their home. So go ahead and also too, just as a reminder, Vicky's Home Comforts cowl only goes through the end of June. So you only have an opportunity to double dip just this 1 month. All right, so that's it. I think that's enough for jar along news for you. The one other thing that I want to mention, because holy smokes, I'm looking over my shoulder right now in the camera, and I really do want to get out to the beach. But I wanted to show you, I don't know if you noticed what is behind me. I'm going to grab it. The Hamilton shawl is done. Later on, when I am back in my parents' house and talking to you guys a little bit more, I'll tell you a little bit more about the show perhaps, but I at least wanted to show you how beautiful this came out. I absolutely, oh my goodness, I am totally in love with this pattern. I wore it the night of the show. It was amazing.
I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. Hey, yo, I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot. I'ma get a scholarship to King's College. I probably shouldn't brag, but dag, I'm amazed and astonished. The problem is I got a lot of brains, but no polish. I gotta holler just to be heard with the...
It made the whole night just so much more special for me, knowing that I had busted my butt to try and get this thing done. The only confession that I will make, so when I do, and if I post pictures and you actually look at them in detail, you'll notice that I cheated a little bit in terms of finishing off this shawl. I was getting nervous about time. So what I ended up doing was actually just, instead of, this should have had 1, 2, 3, 4, it should have had 5 lace sections in it. Mine only has 4. I decided not to go ahead and do the final lace section. And I just, went ahead and kind of tweaked the pattern to sort of finish it off in a way that I thought would look fine. I just was worried I wouldn't have enough time. It's still huge though, you guys. So seriously, if it is something where, this pattern, which by the way, is the Shawl of Destiny pattern by AMBAH O'Brien. This pattern looks just as lovely, even if you are like me and you had to rush and you weren't able to get through that lace section, that last or that 5th lace section. So anyway, I'm just excited that I had the chance to show you guys that as a finished object. But I think that's it. I'm going to take my kind of sweaty self down to the water right now because I have a cold drink waiting for me down there. I have a beautiful sandy beach waiting for me down there. My mom waiting for me down there. And I think I am going to probably need to take a dip in that ocean today too because it's a little warm outside today. So I will be back definitely later. As I mentioned before, I'll be back with my mom. We're going to do a little chit chat together, and share some stuff. So the next time you see me, hopefully I will be a little bit more presentable, and more than likely sitting in my mom and dad's sunroom at their house. So thank you guys so much. I'm going to head out to the beach and I will see you later. Hey everybody, I am back and it is actually now the next day, and as I mentioned yesterday when I was all disgusting and sweaty, I was going to be filming this podcast episode from 2 states. So here I am now. I am actually now back in South Carolina, in my mom and dad's house. They live actually, I think I mentioned this earlier, but they live right outside of Myrtle Beach in Murrells Inlet. So I'm enjoying filming in their absolutely lovely sunroom. So I guess considering that it's a sunroom, I can't be guaranteed what might happen with the light behind me, but we're going to just go with it and see what happens. So anyway, I have a few things that I would like to talk to everybody about, and then I'm actually going to grab my mom. I told my mom, I already warned her that we needed some kind of beverage, and I suggested opening a bottle of wine. But my mom came in earlier and she actually, oh my gosh, she knows me all too well. She found this fun, I don't know, frozen margarita thing. I've never seen these before, but the only thing I don't know, it's a horrible comparison to make, but this thing kind of works like those flavor ice sticks that you have when you're kids, except with booze. So anyway, we're going to be enjoying our margarita. I have mine actually on the floor because I don't want to put it on their beautiful table in here. So we'll see how this goes. I wonder if this will still be left when my mom joins me in a little bit, but I know she's got hers waiting for her. So anyway, I am going to do a few different things. I definitely want to talk about the latest Sheepy. I'm excited about that. I want to show you guys some things that I've been working on. I've actually gotten a lot of knitting done just even in these last couple days. Being on a little bit of a vacation has been lovely. And then I also have some show and tell to share with you before I bring in the big show and tell, which is going to be my mom for a few minutes. So anyway, I want to do the Sheepy first because I have to tell you, it was kind of sad last episode not having somebody to recognize. But thank you, by the way. I did mention last time that you can go into our Ravelry group, the Paws for Stitches Ravelry group, and you can nominate somebody for a viewer's choice, or I guess sort of a people's choice Sheepy. I'm not exactly 100% set on the name of this yet, but from time to time, I am going to look in that thread and see if I can pick, first of all, I might learn some new podcasts that I want to check out myself, and also get to recognize some podcasters that you guys are all loving as well. So don't forget about that and head on over to that thread in the Ravelry group if you would like to nominate somebody. But let me get the Sheepy. Here we go. I love showing it. It's so cute. But I'm really super excited to award this Sheepy today because I'm a firm believer that there are people that have been placed on this earth just to make people smile, just to make people happy. And that is absolutely, without a doubt, what I think about the podcaster who I'm going to be giving this Sheepy to today. I would like to actually recognize on this episode Melissa of the Spicy Homemaker podcast. Melissa, I'm sure so many of you know. As I've said before, sometimes I'm going to recognize newer podcasters, and other times I'm going to recognize people that I already know that you love. But I think all the more reason to share that, appreciation with this person for everything they've given to the podcasting community. So when I think of Melissa, I think one of the things that jumps out is just the genuine joy that comes out like through the screen when I'm watching her podcast. She is just so excited and happy and upbeat about everything she talks about, and it's contagious. It makes you want to be just as excited about things as she is. So I really appreciated that. I also can't help but notice how many times you're watching other podcasts and somebody has received a package from Melissa. I think hands down she probably is one of the most giving people I've ever witnessed in my life, and it's always with a lot of thought behind it. So I think, kind of that said, one of the general things too, I think a lot of people will say about Melissa is just what a wonderful job she does bringing this entire podcast community together. Just as a personal story, I reached out to Melissa, it might have been even after like my second or third episode. I make it sound like I have so many. This is only 5. But I reached out to Melissa just with a few questions for her. And I asked her for some honest feedback, and she certainly gave it to me. She was honest and thoughtful, and you know what? She's actually been incredibly supportive even since we've exchanged those beginning emails. So, this in my way too, this is sort of my way of saying thank you, Melissa, for, giving a new gal a chance and actually taking the time to even watch my podcast when I know how many others you obviously enjoy and like to spend your time watching. So thank you so much for that. I really get a kick out of watching the Spicy Homemaker podcast. It's funny. It's just one of those podcasts that leaves you feeling good when you're finished watching it. So again, Melissa, thank you so much for everything that you do for this community. And I hope that, again, certainly don't have to, but I hope that when you get your sheepy, you'll consider just, giving us a little, giving a little shout out to the people out there who inspired you to keep going on your journey as a podcaster, because it's been fun watching your episodes from the very first up until now. So thanks again, Melissa, and congratulations on your sheepy. Okay, that said, we are going to move. Where are we going to move? We are going to move into I want to get back to, I mentioned yesterday that I was going to bring up the Hamilton shawl again. So I brought the Hamilton shawl back because I was just obviously super excited to show it off one more time. And yesterday when I'm just going to throw this on for a second. Yesterday, oh gosh, I love it. I love it. Ooh, it actually kind of looks kind of neat with my, as the little kids in my school call it, my Doritos dress. Yes, I had a little boy, I'll show you later, but I had a little boy actually yell down the hallway at me the other day, Doritos, and pointed at my dress. So I thought that was fabulous. Anyway, this Shawl of Destiny by AMBAH O'Brien was the perfect date for when I went to see Hamilton a couple weeks ago now. I could barely believe it. Oh my gosh, the hype was completely worth it. The show was absolutely amazing, and I still basically have the lyrics in my mind, a good portion of each day. Everything, it was everything I expected and more. And we just had such an amazing time. We had great seats. Like I said, we were very fortunate. A girlfriend of mine, through a family friend, was able to get us some tickets. So I not only feel grateful for the opportunity, but in some ways I actually feel a little bit guilty because I know how excited a lot of people are and hoping to see the show. So it was wonderful to be able to see it with Lin-Manuel Miranda in it. So my Lin-Manuel Michalda, he didn't look out into the audience, and lock eye contact with my shawl or anything like that I was, hoping, but that's quite all right. Rumor has it Bruce Springsteen and Madonna were actually at the same performance. I have to tell you, I could have cared less. I could have plowed right into Bruce Springsteen in the lobby and it wouldn't have mattered because I was there to see Hamilton, people. So it was great. So I just wanted to let everybody know that, I'm still coming down off my Hamilton high / hangover, or whatever you want to call it, because it was incredible. So I'm excited. This is probably one of the fastest projects I've ever finished. So hooray for deadline knitting. And by the way, you'll see another deadline knitting project in a little bit with my mom. So anyway, what am I working on now? I have to tell you, even though I loved working on the Shawl of Destiny, it is great to finally be getting back to some other projects that I either had wanted to start or, just kind of had to put aside for a little while I was dedicating all of my time to the Shawl of Destiny. So here's a couple things I want to show you guys right now. First of which, there are a lot of sock cows going on in the podcaster world right now. So I was excited to cast on another sock. I think the last pair of socks that I finished were my Zigzagular socks by Susie White. So I decided this time around that I'm calling these my late to the party socks for two reasons. One, because of the pattern, and two, because of the type of yarn that I'm using. I am actually using Patton's Croy sock. Okay, this is the, oh gosh, what is this? Rag, something, blue striped rag colorway. And it's so funny. I think it was a while ago, I'm pretty sure Mina, the knitting expat, was talking about Patton's Croy sock yarn. And I guess when she came to the States, she must have snuck into a Michael's, grabbed a bunch of it. She probably, knowing Mina, had all of those socks knitted on her flight home from the States back home. But anyway, Yeah, I live practically within walking distance from a Michael's at home in New Jersey, and I'm embarrassed to admit that I've actually never knit with Patton's Croy with the sock yarn. I know tons of different people talk about it. I love watching a lot of people post their Patton's Croy socks on Instagram, and I'm always loving the striping and whatnot. So I finally did it. I finally went ahead and I went into Michael's and bought myself the blue striped rag, and I'm loving how it is working up. And I could see why actually people, especially for the price and whatnot, really well worth it. I'm enjoying working with this sock yarn very much. The other reason these are my late to the party socks are actually because of the pattern itself, which those of you who probably have knit 9 million of these can tell that I am finally getting into the blueberry waffle sock. Another pattern, I think I went through my Hermione's everyday sock phase, and I guess now Hermione's getting the boot because I'm loving these. These are actually a lot of fun to work with. The only regret that I have, and I think I probably should have known this, I think I would have preferred to actually do a contrasting colored heel here. I'm not crazy about how that's striping up down there, but you know what? It's fine. I'm not going to go too crazy over that. I'll know better for next time. And, I think if I ever buy some more Patton's Croy, maybe I'll go ahead and just buy like a solid color. That would be a nice contrasting color for lots of different colorways. So anyway, that's how that's coming along. As you can see, I'm kind of in the home stretch here. I am working on, you can't probably tell, but I'm working on a 9-inch circular, and it's pretty speedy. I think I've finally gotten the hang of how I like to hold them. It's not hurting my hands quite as much anymore. The only thing I realized is that when I wanted to put this baby on a sock blocker, I was afraid to do that because I thought if I stretched things out too much that all of my, my stitches would fall off the 9-inch needle. So I went ahead and I just split them between 2 needles to go ahead and throw it on here to show you guys what I'm working on. And I'll just slip them all back onto the 9-inch when I get back to this later on. So yeah, I think I'll be probably working on knitting the rest of this guy up, perhaps on the plane on the way home tomorrow. And we'll see. Hopefully it'll go pretty quickly, and then I can get the next one, cast on right away so that I can have a finished pair of socks to add to all these millions of sock cals that are going on right now. I'm actually really intrigued by and I wish I could remember the name of it. I'll put it down, at the bottom of the screen for you guys, but I know the Grocery Girls, I just watched their latest episode, and they are doing it's like a second sock cal or something like that. What a fabulous idea. I cannot wait to see the second socks of shame that probably come out of the woodwork because, we all have them, let's face it. So yeah, I'm not going to let this be I guess technically when I'm working on the second sock, I don't know. I'm going to have to check the rules on that. I definitely have some legit ones that I can put in there, but we'll see. We'll see what I do about that. So anyway, blueberry waffle sock, Patton's Croy, and I'm really enjoying these socks very, very much. The next thing I wanted to show you guys, I am really, really excited about. First of all, so excited. This is like the inaugural Mrs. Brown's Bag project. First project ever that is living in my ever so fabulous Mrs. Brown's Bag, and I am really, really enjoying it. I just cast this on yesterday, and I think last episode I shared with you guys that I had finally scored some hedgehog fiber, hedgehog fibers being another yarn that I've never had the pleasure of working with before. So I looked for a special pattern that I'd be able to use with my new hedgehog fibers, which is in the Film Noir colorway. The main color of this shawl is going to be the hedgehog fibers Film Noir. But it's not a lot yet, but I had to show you how the color is working up because it's so pretty. I hope you can kind of see it. Yeah, I think you should be able to see it. The lighting in here is a little crazy because the sun's coming in and out. But it is beautiful. Oh my goodness. When I first started working on this, actually, I was a little bit, I was like, oh, I don't see a lot of color. But then all of a sudden, I guess as it started to get bigger and bigger, the way the speckles, the way everything starts to kind of spread itself out is just really outstanding. This is actually the CARSON shawl, and that is by ROMI Hill Designs. And I'm going to insert a picture of it here because I was afraid if I just show you the picture off of the pattern that either A, I might give away a little too much, or B, you might not see it in all of its splendid glory. So I'm going to insert a picture of the CARSON shawl. I picked it because I wanted a shawl that was multiple colors, but something where the hedgehog could be sort of the central focus of the shawl. But what I really think I'm going to love is how the other two complementing Madeline Tosh light colors that I picked out are going to actually work and play kind of with the hedgehog fibers. I think it's going to look beautiful together. So hopefully next time I podcast, I'll be able to, I think I'm probably about 15 or so rows away from when I get to add in the first solid color yarn. So I'm excited about that. I think it's going to actually work up really nicely. So that is that. That is the CARSON shawl. And I don't know, maybe I'll work on that on the way home tomorrow. That's one of the things I don't like flying. Not one bit. But when I have to fly is one of the many times in my life that I thank my lucky stars that I am a knitter, because as long as I have a knitting project, I can kind of stay fairly calm. Sometimes maybe a cocktail helps a little bit as well. But yeah, no, I'll be excited to have a couple different choices of things to work on my way home tomorrow. All right, let's see. What else do I have going on? I think I was going to show you guys what I started on the Helen Square because I'm about halfway done with that. But I decided I'm actually going to save it. This coming Thursday, this has nothing to do with the Helen Square, but this coming Thursday is my birthday. I'm going to be 44. Holy cow, I'm going to be 44. Yeah, let that sink in a little bit. But anyway, Thursday's my birthday, and Jamie was asking me, hey, what do you want to do for your birthday, hun? And of course, I looked him straight in the eye and I said, well, can we take a little drive up to the cabin the weekend after my birthday, just to have a nice, relaxing, fun weekend. And since Jamie and I are not together this weekend down at my parents', one of the things we talked about maybe doing is a little birthday bonus podcast episode when we're up at the cabin next weekend. So that's why I want to save the Helen Square, because Jamie and I think will have a really good time telling some of our Helen stories together. For those of you who didn't watch the last episode, I mentioned that my Helen Square was the next one coming up in my Cozy Memories blanket with a twist. And Helen is Jamie's sister who passed away a few years back. And, one of the things that certainly lives on are the many amazing stories that we have to tell about Helen. And I do think that it would be much more fun to do that with Jamie. So I'm going to hold off on showing you where I am with that until next weekend. So there might be a little bonus OMJ action coming at you guys, since there will be no MJ today. All right, so anyway, I think the only thing that I have left to do before I go and grab my mom and see if her margarita is ready to come and join us for a few minutes, I have some show and tell for you guys. I actually, I don't know, the Instagram thing, it'll get you every time. I've been definitely noticing a ton of new yarns that I want to try. So much so that I think on the next, oh my God, do you guys hear that? I don't know if you could hear that. That's my mom's clock. On the hour, every hour, there's a different bird noise that chimes. I don't know what that bird was, but anyway, it must be 3 o'clock. So, yeah, 3 o'clock, and I'm having a margarita. I just admitted that to the world, but that's okay, because it's always 5 o'clock somewhere. But anyway, back to Instagram, and it, what it causes to be the downfall of all of us is looking at all of the amazing indie dyers that are out there, like far too many that I even ever will be able to try. But I actually, one of the things I really would like to start You know, I have sort of a figurative bucket list going on in my head of indie dyers whose yarn I would like to try, but I'm actually thinking next time around I might actually, you know, literally start putting names of these indie dyers in some sort of a bucket. And from time to time, I was thinking, I don't know, as sort of a reward to myself, I would let myself pick a name out of that bucket and allow myself to go ahead into their Etsy shop or wherever they are selling their yarn and to give something new a try. Have I started that yet? No, but I've cheated and I've already gone ahead and bought something for myself because somebody who I really enjoy following on Instagram is Black Hat Custom Yarns. And absolutely beautiful. This is a Canadian yarn dyer, and I wanted to show you what I ended up getting. I bought her everyday sock base, and the color I'm about to show you is called Overwatch. I absolutely love this. I saw this. Oh wow. Do you think that there's like a whole theme going on with the colors that I seem to be drawn to lately? There is definitely something just so spectacular about this colorway. I think I might want to make socks, but I don't know. Maybe this needs to be a shawl. This is going to be one of those yarns I have to sit on for a little while, but Black Hat Custom Yarns, oh my goodness, thank you so much because this is absolutely stunning and I have been completely stalking your Instagram feed ever since I bought this. So stay tuned. Hopefully, I don't know, maybe after my CARSON shawl, I might be able to commit to something with this, but I want to look around just for the perfect project. If anybody has any ideas, please feel free to send them my way. So that's one thing. The other little bit of show and tell, it's not a lot, it is mini, of course, is that I have really, as I mentioned a couple episodes when I started working on this Cozy Memories blanket with a twist, where I have a square for each, do I have it? I can actually at least show it. Let's see. Oh no, I can't. I can't show it because the Helen square is already starting to be attached. But anyway, you'll see it next time. But I have definitely realized that I wanted a little bit more variety to choose from in my colors of the minis that I have. So I've actually recently been involved in a couple different swaps, which have been fabulous and allowed me to meet up with some great people, exchange some great messages on Ravelry with some folks. So I just wanted to show you very quickly. I'm not even gonna take all of these out of the bag, but look at this fabulous little package that came in the mail. This was a swap that I actually did through Boston Jen of the Down Cellar Studio. This was kind of a cool one because I got to send, in fact, I think this was the skein of yarn that I sent. Yeah, this is it. This was, oh my goodness, what was this actually? This was Super Sock, online Super Sock 100, really pretty. So I sent this over to Boston Jen and the folks that were helping her out with this swap, and they actually wound this up into 10 different minis, and I actually got this lovely bag of minis back with a nice variety of things. So that was fun. I've never done a swap quite like that before. That was great. As I mentioned last time, I'm going to be anxiously awaiting my Mustache Yarns Swapless Swap minis, which will be coming, I would imagine, at some point in the near future. And that is from Lisa of Life Full of Laugh, who's put together that Swapless Swap. And then the last thing, too, a little while ago, I received from the very lovely Creative Mama Makes on Instagram. I've already used one of them. Actually, I think one of them is going into my, sorry about the glare. There we go. One of them is going into my Helen square, but oh my gosh, I think my favorite one absolutely is this really pretty blue one. That's Knit Pick Stroll Tonal in the Frozen colorway, which I could have told you that before I even read the description because it jumped right out at me as something straight out of Frozen. So I'm getting there. I'm getting a little bit, I'm building my minis stash slowly but surely, giving myself some more options and things to choose from. So that's kind of exciting. Last thing I mentioned when I was filming on the deck yesterday about the jar along, I forgot, I didn't have the skein of veil yarn with me. That's from Classic Elite. It's the Mountaintop yarn veil. This is in the, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of the colorway, so I will definitely put it down at the bottom for you guys. But I promised I would show that. This is actually the skein of yarn that I will be giving away for anybody who enters into the June jar along that I'm hosting in my Revelry group. So go ahead and check that out. Don't forget. And I guess that's it, I think, for now. So, okay, we are back, and I brought a friend with me. As I mentioned, I was going to grab my mom for a few minutes to kind of wrap up this episode. So, Mom, this is Mom.
Hi, everybody.
Yep, and
notice what you get when you're with Candy.
Yes, that seems to be the trend. But actually, this was your idea. I've never seen this before. So this
must be a southern beach thing.
Well, it might be, I suppose. But anyway, we're going to talk a little bit. I actually asked Mom to go ahead and grab some of, as I've mentioned in other episodes, I definitely knit a lot of stuff for you, right?
You sure do, and I wear it all.
Yeah, I knit a lot of stuff for my mom, and you know, you actually, I don't know, what do you think?
I love it all, but the hard part is it always has to be lightweight yarn because it's usually pretty warm here, so she can't make hats and mittens and things like that, so I always get all of these nice things, so
which is fine.
Me.
Yeah, no, I'm always on the lookout for like lighter weight patterns, projects, yarns, things like that. So, hey, I don't mind. The other thing too that you didn't mention though is the color usually has to be.
Usually has to have this like green. I love green is my favorite. Kind of like a lime green. That's definitely my favorite color.
Well, and as you can tell, she's a little bit on the tan side. So, yeah, Mom spends a good amount of time at the beach, I would say.
I do.
Yeah. So anyway, one thing I wanted to mention is that you are wearing your Mother's Day gift.
My Mother's Day gift. This is my Mother's Day gift.
Yeah.
A little bit late, but that's okay. Plus, it came in person, so that's even better.
It did. And also, she saw it on the podcast anyway. I kind of forgot to warn you that you shouldn't be watching that. But I think it came out great. This was that checks wrap pattern, you guys, that I was telling you about. I'm going to steal it from you for a second. Again, now you can really see the green and all the different colors. This was actually, I'm a little worried that this is going to be sometimes too warm for you.
I don't think so.
It's got a little mohair in it, but I don't know. I'm sure it'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
All right, we're going to throw this one over here for now. Because I told my mom that she had to actually grab, you know, just a handful. I'm going to put in a picture and try and show like all of the different goodies that I've made for her over the years. But there's one that I actually requested for us to bring out because this project, and in fact, some of my knitting ladies are going to crack up if they see this, because this they will recognize. This was, I have no idea. This wasn't even really a pattern of any sort. You just kind of started out casting on a few stitches and then just kept adding on and making it bigger and bigger and bigger. But seriously, this, what looks like a fishing net pretty much, is this yarn. If I bring it closer, you might be able to see.
It almost looks like each end is tied instead of knitted.
It was just this crazy kind of yarn. But again, as you can see, all of your bright colors.
All the colors are in this.
And this is one, I love it when sometimes you'll text me and tell me like people have said stuff about projects that I
wore this to my eye doctor appointment, and every 2 seconds someone new was coming in the door because so-and-so said, oh, you have to go in room number so-and-so and see what that lady's wearing. And then they were asking me all kinds of questions, but of course I usually don't know the answers because I really do not have any interest in knitting. Unfortunately, Candace tries to get me to do it, but just not for me. Just not for me.
By the way, you guys note she already dropped Candace.
Oh, it's Candace.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
It's
figured I probably should have
Candace.
said something about that. My mom definitely always calls me Candace.
Yes.
But yeah, no, the other thing too, I want to insert a picture because something that I also like to do when I make things, especially for you, because I know you're not going to mind the dog hair, is one of our labs, Addie, does like to get dressed up. So I'm actually thinking that I'm going to start a little thing where, like, so, you know how I think it's in like Us magazine where they do like who wore it best or who wore it better. So I'm going to insert a picture right here with Addie because Addie actually dressed up in this before I had the chance to give it to my mom. And
I've already told Candace that I better be the winner over the dog.
of who wears it better. I don't know. We'll see about that because the picture of Addie's really cute. All right, so that was that. This one was this was your Christmas present.
Yeah,
this was the glam shells. Oh, I like this one. Yes.
And notice I like them when they're like open, like lots of holes, more holes, because it's just not as heavy.
Obviously, lace knitting is something that is good for my mom.
Beautiful.
I wish you
Look
guys.
at this.
Oh yeah, it looks pretty. Like you can really see the light coming through that too. This too, I don't know if we could see it up close, but this has a little bit of sparkle in it.
It's like gold.
Again, because we're just doing like a ton of show and tell right now, I don't even remember. I know this was called the Glam Shells pattern, but I don't really remember the yarn. So if I do remember it when I'm editing, I will definitely put it at the bottom of the screen for you guys or in the show notes. Another pretty one. This one's light too.
It is light. It is light.
Yeah, this is really light. I like that.
And it's neutral. It goes with a lot.
Yeah, no, it doesn't have bright green in it for once. That's pretty amazing. Yeah. So, yeah, speaking of, though, then
this is my favorite. I told Candace. This is you can even see, like, I wear this so much, it kind of looks like it's...
Yeah, this is just a simple kind of a scarf, I guess. Yeah. This was almost like a feather and fan kind of a, it's just, yes.
And I just wear it simple.
Yeah, that looks good.
I like this one a lot.
And bright colors.
Again, same colors. Yep.
Anything green, definitely. That usually catches my eye, and I usually end up grabbing it and knowing that someday I'll make something. This one was from...
That's old.
Yeah, this one's cool.
That's old.
Here, hold that a second.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Look at that. This was...
The colors are pretty. It's like a bluish. Like an ice blue or something.
This was like a ribbon.
Gray.
Yeah, it was like a ribbon yarn that we bought. This we got in the Outer Banks.
You did?
And yes, because we were in...
This is what I usually do with this one.
We were in a knitting store down in the Outer Banks, and I went in and
that
looks really pretty. That looks really pretty. But they had this on display, and the owner of the store, I wish I could remember the name of that place, but I don't. But she actually sat me down. I think I remember Dad and Jamie like sitting outside waiting.
Were outside, yes,
for a really long time because the lady was like, "Oh, I can sit down. I can show you how to do that."
This is really pretty.
I'll be damned. I don't even remember how to do whatever I had to do for this because I probably would make this again. I think that would be another. It used a lot of yarn though.
It's very pretty
because you had to do like multiple yarn overs, I think, sort of. But anyway, that was a pretty one. All right, we picked out a couple more here. Oh, this one's a little. This one's a little hotter. Oh, this was. This has this little thing. Here, put that on.
It's good for me.
The way it goes. This was actually a Dream in Color, one of their monthly. What do you call those things? I don't know. Monthly projects. But that's pretty cool. Kind of goes
this is nice.
Through. You just put it through there, and that seed stitch kind of in the middle sort of holds the scarf together. So that one's a little bit heavier, but I guess since it's not too wide, it's probably not terrible.
Not too bad.
No. I like that color too. It's pretty. That's that. And then we grabbed a couple
with
more.
All the colors.
Oh yes, this one too. Yeah, shocker. More green.
Look.
Yeah. And holy. Green and holy.
But this isn't heavy either.
Yeah, so pretty much anything that looks like it's going to catch fish will work for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Awesome. And then last but not least,
the cowl.
Oh, this is fun. I liked this one. Was a class we did at my local yarn shop. So I know if I look that up, I'll be able to get the name of that pattern for you guys. But yeah, that one wraps around a couple times, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like the mom fashion show. Ooh, that looks good. Cool. Oh yeah, do that one more time too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that looks pretty. Yeah, nice.
Green.
Yeah, shocking. So anyway, that's just a
Ooh,
little.
that looks nice.
Yeah,
I like that.
it does look nice. That's a little bit of the mom fashion show. Yeah, no, it's good. It's nice when you actually knit for people and they like it and they wear it.
She knows I do. I wear it.
So
I do wear it. That's why sometimes I do wish I could even wear, heavier,
yeah,
like hats and things.
I
But
gotta try socks for you. Oh, remember
Yeah,
you
no,
found
winter-
those? No, you sent me the flip flop socks.
Oh yeah.
They have those
yeah.
socks that have the little
The-
part where your
yeah.
flip flop fits in.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure I get that whole thing though, unless it's maybe to go to the gym like in the winter and to keep your feet cold or warm. I have no idea. But anyway, yeah, that's it. What I don't understand though is mom's retired and has all of this time that all of us would kill to
No
have.
no interest
she
in
doesn't-
crafts, no interest in.
There's been
No.
there's been discussion that perhaps I may be the mailman's kid or something.
Mhm.
I have no idea what's going on because there's somewhere I got some kind of
Yeah, definitely.
crafty trait from but
Reading,
it's-
just everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
I like sitting in the sun though.
Yeah, you do.
But I have to be doing something. I can't. Mom can just sit there and watch people fall asleep, whatever. No, I need to be actually working on something. So anyway, I guess we're gonna get ready to wrap this up. I'm pretty excited though. Later on, we're going to. I'm actually getting dropped off at a brewery. And I'm going to be meeting up with one of my knitting group friends from New Jersey who actually now lives down here in South Carolina. So we kind of hooked up with each other and found a common time just to meet up for a little bit while you guys are at your church thing. And, and then we'll meet up a little bit later for dinner.
There.
So that'll be fun. So I guess that's it for now. You didn't get Jamie this week, but you did get my mom.
What about your dad?
Oh, yeah. What are we going to do?
Should we get him?
I don't know. Why don't you go get him and he can at least say hi. I'm going to
Okay.
kind of wrap up with my
Okay.
last couple announcements. Yeah. All right. Mom's going to go grab Dad and he'll come and say hello real quick. I don't think I'll make him. I don't really knit anything for him. But anyway, it's kind of nice for you guys to see, where I came from. But anyway, I want to, before my mom, my dad, and I sign off, say goodbye, I just wanted to, tell you the usual. I hope you are going to take some time out this week to pause for those stitches. And don't forget, I think I am going to try to film a special birthday bonus episode next weekend up at the cabin with Jamie. Here he comes. Come on in. Here, you can sit here. Don't knock over Mom's
That's
booze,
what I
though.
said.
So, all right, this is Dad. Say hello.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah. So Dad does not knit either. No.
Knits what?
No, yeah, but Dad actually is trying to get me, I did start taking golf lessons, so hopefully one of these times that I come down here, I'm actually going to be able to really play golf.
I hope so.
Although today was fun. You invented, well, you didn't invent it, but
No, it was friends of ours. It's called sand golf.
yeah, that was cool.
And it's good for the beach.
Yeah, it's good for the beach until some sort of children don't notice
Yeah,
the giant
decide to walk
hole
through.
or the little mounds, and they either step on it or
Mhm,
whatever. But
mhm.
that's okay. We had a good time anyway. So that's it. So Dad was the one who squeezed out all of my the margarita for
Where's
me.
mine?
Oh, because Mom already grabbed
I
it.
thought that's what you left it
No,
for.
no, she
I
took
guess
it, I
not.
guess. So anyway, we're gonna say goodbye. You want to say goodbye? Or do you
No.
Want you
No,
wanna
I'm not
eat?
ready to say goodbye.
Okay, what do you want to talk about?
Bye, everybody.
All right, so that's it. Thanks, Dad.
Sure.
I will see you guys soon, and I hope you enjoyed this little 2 states in 1 episode journey of mine. I don't think I'll probably be heading back down here to visit again, maybe in September. But in the meantime, I'm going to be looking forward to heading back up north. Go back up to the mountains where it's a little bit cooler because rumor has it it's supposed to be like 90 degrees here starting tomorrow. So I am getting out just in time. I hope everybody has a great week. Melissa, congratulations again on your sheepy, and I hope to see everybody real soon. Take care, you guys, and don't forget to head on over to the Ravelry Paws for Stitches podcast group and check out all the fun things we've got going on there. See you soon. Bye.